So I had a few friends from school that started a consulting company a few years back to that time, and I decided to join them in this consulting business. During the consulting business was kind of a foray back to Nigeria for me. We had local clients, we had international clients, and there was one of the international companies that, you know, had some activities in Nigeria. And they said that, oh, we're working with you guys have worked with us in different countries. Why don't you guys help us with this case in Nigeria? They were a technology supplier to the oil and gas industry, but they didn't really have almost like a service outfit for their business. And they were looking into who to partner with and how to get that up and going. So, I mean, I told them that, yes, I mean, I'm from Nigeria, my parents are from Nigeria, but I don't have any business experience of Nigeria. I lived there when I was a teenager and secondary school, and, you know, I was taken care of by my parents. It's very different. But they were like, well, we don't know Nigeria either. You know, at least you are Nigerian. Yes, you look like them. Just go. And they basically threw me to the deep end. And I quickly found out that Nigeria was, as a business environment, very different from what I was used to in Europe. And I think I started being quite vocal about it. It was also a rise where Finland had different trade centers in different countries. And I was quite vocal about it, that, you know, it's places like Nigeria, places in Africa that really need support for, you know, Finnish businesses. That European countries, they already know the ways. It's very similar laws. If you're in EU, basically you have the same laws. Market entry is quite easy. But Nigeria, Africa, it's much harder, you know. And people have ideas of how to go about it, but it's also very opaque in a way. It's very hard to get realistic information. You only hear the bad. And I was quite vocal about it, wrote it in a few papers, and then I got a call, you know, from the Ministry of Trade, or what we call Ministry of Economy and Employment, that, well, you've been doing a lot of talking. Why don't you go and open a trade center in Nigeria? And I was like, okay. Maybe I didn't know that anybody was listening, but I guess somebody was. And I took the job to be the trade commissioner for Finland in West Africa. This was late 2010. And the assignment was to come and be in Nigeria for 2 years, open the office, get it running, and potentially then go back to my consulting business later. And 13 years later, I still found myself in that position. Wow. And I think one of the reasons was that there was so much to do. There were so many new things to learn. Weekly, you would work with new companies, new industries. So it was almost like every year, you almost like started again, and you could really offer concrete help and get to know the best of both sides, and really kind of see the rise of a lot of European companies in Africa, like the new wave of engagement, which I think, you know, a lot of European companies experienced, you know, 2010 forward. So ended up being there 13 years, finally decided that, you know, it's time to get back to the private sector and see, you know, if I still have it in me to do something else. And, you know, that was my pathway into IT and a few other sectors.
Wow. I mean, I can imagine. I think the job working as the trade commissioner must have been exciting.
Yes.
That's the way I look at it. Because I know for a fact, I used to work in banking in Nigeria, in City, and we had big commercial enterprises that do big trade in Africa, in Nigeria, and other. I mean, I know it's difficult, challenging, but exciting.
Yes. Yes.
See, and that's what gives me hope that people like you and many others will step into that place and see opportunities. Yes, they will have challenges, but the excitement of doing something, of achieving something, will push them forward.
Yes.
So I'm just